Hi, everybody. I've got some news that's just too good to keep. I've got to share with everybody now. So I want to tell you about an email that I received from the Museum of Natural History of New York and what it means. About a year ago, last fall, I found a very unusual Eurypterid. Last fall, I was up at the Beecher Trilobite beds looking for some of those lost golden trilobites. This goes back to episode 3 of the Lost Golden Trilobites, when I was looking for the Beecher Trilobite bed, a bed of trilobites that had been lost for about 100 years before being rediscovered by somebody named Marcus and others. Well, when I was collecting there, in episode 3 of the Lost Golden Trilobites, we found a Eurypterid. At first we weren't sure what it was because there aren't supposed to be any Eurypterids in this sediment. So I made 2 finds off camera of this nice large cephalopod, and I have this really intriguing thing over here. It's very large, looks like it could be a thoracic segment for maybe a Eurypterid or something like that. So that's a very interesting find over here. They're quite abundant in the Silurian, and there are some small ones that can be found in the Ordovician, but we really weren't supposed to find a large section of thorax of a large Eurypterid. And knowing that this was something special, Marcus had delivered it for me to the Museum of Natural History. Well, got an email from them earlier this week, and it turns out that yes, that is a very special Eurypterid. And it's so special that they told me it has unique features. What does that mean? Well, it looks like it's probably going to be a new species of Eurypterid. I can't believe it. So it looks like I actually found a new species. I'm so excited about that. So I want to share this with you. I'll take us back to when I first found it and then show you this Eurypterid itself, which is now over at the Museum of Natural History. So it turns out that this piece that I turned over, it actually is a Eurypterid. And not only is it a Eurypterid, but they are actually very scarce. This one is going to be going to the Museum of Natural History. So this could end up being the second fossil that with my name on it over at the Museum of Natural History. So it's I don't know if they'll display it or not, but that's where it's going. So you may wonder, why are we so excited about the thorax section of a Eurypterid? Well, keep in mind the Beecher Trilobite bed, this is Ordovician material. So while if we see a Eurypterid segment like that up at the Ridgemont Quarry, for example, that would be okay, kind of average, but there are few to no large Eurypterids known from the Ordovician in New York State. And in fact, I'm going to be told that this thorax section indicates the largest Ordovician Eurypterid ever found in New York State. And this is why I've been asked by Marcus to give this one to the American Museum of Natural History. Don't mind doing that. It's probably be more use to the people who are studying it. Plus, I'm very proud to already have one fossil on display at the American Museum of Natural History. You can see that in my Best Finds of the Year video. And now, let me read to you the letter that I received from the curator of invertebrate paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. I'm not going to mention the curator's name right now because I always ask people ahead of time before I put their name in any of my videos, and I haven't had a chance to speak directly to the curator. But here's what the letter says. I'm the curator in charge of fossil invertebrates at the American Museum of Natural History. Marcus delivered the Eurypterid specimen you found at the Beecher's bed quarry to me, and we are now in the process of formally accessioning the specimen into the museum's collection. To that end, I've attached a specimen transfer form. Would you fill out the date that you found the specimen, sign, and return to me? After accession is complete, I will send you a formal letter to you for your records. In the meantime, let me take this opportunity to enthusiastically thank you for your donation. I have a postdoctoral fellow in my lab who's working on the specimen right now. We think that we see some anatomical features that never have been described in a Eurypterid before, which would make this quite valuable scientifically. We'll of course keep you updated on the progress of the work and acknowledge the donation in any resulting publication. Then finally it says cheers and the name of the curator. This has been such an exciting experience. I'm so happy to have made this possible contribution. I think that this whole experience has been a really good example of scientists and amateur paleontologists working together well. Some of you might ask, well, isn't that Eurypterid kind of valuable, especially if it might be unique? Well, here's the thing. Yes, these fossils do have some monetary value, but the greatest value is actually in the science, in learning about these new creatures. Without the study of paleontology in the ancient world, these fossils are pretty much just worthless remains. It's the science that makes them valuable. So I could have just kept that, it would have stayed on the shelf and might not ever have learned that it was a different and unique species. So this is a really good example of how fossil collectors and paleontologists work together. That fossil, if I didn't find it, it probably would have started falling apart and disintegrating at the next rainstorm. Once these fossils end up on the surface, they don't last very long at all. And there isn't an army of millions of paleontologists to go scour everywhere to pick up all the fossils before they're destroyed. It really is important for conscientious fossil collectors to go out and find these things. And then when something important does turn out, to recognize it and to turn it over to the paleontologists so we can all benefit from it. So it's a really good example of collectors, fossil hunters, and paleontologists working together to understand more about the natural world and make it enjoyable for everybody to participate as well. And I hope that this cooperation continues so that these fossils are found before they erode away and get destroyed, and we can learn all there is to learn about them and our amazing world. So thank you very much for watching this. I really enjoyed sharing this with you. I hope it does turn out to be something great. We will have to see. The museum told me they're going to let me know what they find. And as far as the Beecher Trilobite beds go, I'm just about done putting together a 5th episode, The Search for the Lost Trilobites Part 5, where we'll be actually getting to the Beecher's Trilobite bed, getting down to that OTB layer, and collecting that to see if we finally found the lost golden trilobites. I hope to have that out to you very soon. So thank you as always for watching these. If you liked it, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It helps the channels. And if you have not already, please consider subscribing. It'll let you know when we find things or go on other trips or see other great fossil locations. So happy fossil hunting and collecting, and I hope that you also make some wonderful finds.